Our news teams are out covering this very important story. They are getting details for you that you need to know. We begin with our team coverage with John Genovese, who has the video everyone's talking about. John.
Tanya, we're continuing to learn new information about this. I told you last hour, police canvassing all the streets in this area off Carruthers Road, looking for that minivan as we speak. Let's recap again what happened. 2:30, they say that suspect across the street in the Remke Market. He tries to shoplift, gets stopped by a loss prevention officer, flashes a gun, then flees across the street to the parking lot where we're standing right now, right in front of this T-Mobile store. We've been talking about how busy of a shopping complex this is. There's a Buffalo Wild Wings, Kroger nearby, a Target store, really a lot of destinations for folks. Take a look at this video. Almost immediately, a group of witnesses come out. They try to pull that suspect out of the car. We know that loss prevention officer ran across the street. Witnesses tell us another man ran across the street. They say that suspect flashed his gun, then forced the driver out of the car. We spoke with that driver, the uncle of 51-year-old Clifford Drago. Take a listen to what he had to say.
He just jumped in the van, and these guys that said was cops, they showed badges, and he unbuckled me and shoved me out the door, almost choked me to death. And he took off with my boy. Yeah, I'm sure worried. I mean, I just don't want nothing to happen to him, so, you know. So I hope and pray that everything come out all right.
That's what he's telling us again just minutes ago. You could see in that video a group of folks trying to pull that suspect out of the van kind of doing this stop and go jerking movement. We also spoke with the man who was rolling on that video, sent it in to us. Take a listen to how he described as this was all taking place.
Saw that there was two bodies up front. There was the driver and somebody in the passenger seat. Seemed like maybe they were kind of struggling a little bit. Actually, I was kind of standing out here in front of the vehicle, and he started revving his engine, or the van's engine, pretty hard. I kind of thought, oh crap, if he throws that thing in drive, I'm getting run over. So that was when I kind of stepped out of the way. And then within seconds,
he says that man fled out of here westbound, police say. Again, we're continuing to get new information on this. We are tracking every angle of it. We're going to turn things over to 9 on your side's Evan Millward. And Evan, I understand you just spoke with police. What are they telling you?
Well, John, I do have some more new information for everyone. I want to make sure I get this out as well. We just got this picture from police. This is a picture of who they believe is the suspect in this case. Let me hold it steady here in the wind. This was taken at the Remke Markets there on Carruthers because police are saying that this started as a robbery. They say this man robbed the Remke Markets of cigarettes and then ran out, and that's what started what has now become a carjacking and a kidnapping with that man. And excuse my props here, I'm going to switch and bring this up so that we can refresh you on this. This man, 51-year-old Clifford Drago, in the back of that minivan you see in the video that's been going viral now. We've been showing it to you since 4 o'clock today. Clifford Drago in the back of that minivan, the family telling police he has the mental capacity of a 12-year-old, so mental handicaps, so it's very unlikely that there is a way to reach out and see if he is okay independently. So we did check with police. We've been talking to them out here since a little bit after 5 o'clock. Police say they have gotten partial license plate sightings of that minivan that is now part of a golden alert across parts of the state. But nothing serious yet, and candidly, Police Chief Tom Collins told me that he thought that was really amazing because, again, you're looking at the video. The video is incredible, and it's incredibly clear. I asked Chief Collins about what he made of that video when we first showed it to him just about half an hour ago. Here's what he had to say.
I'll tell you, the camera video beats everything. It doesn't matter what a witness says for law enforcement, and we've talked about that with recent events in society. You know what, there's nothing better than a camera because those are kind of hard to argue when you got it caught on video. It isn't me you know, telling you what I thought happened or who I think did it when you get to see somebody actually live and watching the event unfold.
So the entire Newport Police Department on this case, working with Covington, they tell us, working with Cincinnati, and of course working with agencies across Kentucky and the tri-state area right now. Again, I want to make sure everyone sees this. This is the man that police believe is behind the wheel of that Chrysler minivan, who they also say robbed the Remke Markets on Carruthers just before 2:30 this afternoon, took cigarettes, and then went out and took that car with an older man with mental handicaps sitting in the back. We don't have an ID on this man just yet, but police are still working on it. They say they think there may be more people involved, but that's something they're still working to figure out. We're still following this case. We'll have updates for you as we get them from here at Newport Police. Until then, we're live in Newport. I'm Evan Millward, 9 on your side.
Evan, thanks so much. There are some things to look out for in that carjack video.
Reporter Jason Law has been examining the video for clues. And Jason, what have you noticed?
There's a couple things I want to point out to you in this video. Between the 5 o'clock report, my report, and now, I went ahead and took this video and I zoomed in on that front license plate holder. It's very clear on the back of the van that that's where that Kentucky temporary tag is. And in Kentucky, that's all you need is a tag on the back of the van. I tried to zoom in on what this is and tell you what it says. It's clearly blue. We tried to zoom in, but it's simply too pixelated, and that's no help there. It's about a 58 seconds long, this video, 58 seconds. And at the end of this, as the suspected carjacker is driving out of the parking lot, what he's going to do is pull out of the parking lot and head towards the Newport Pavilion and appears to turn left past the Chick-fil-A. It's a few seconds past this, but he appears to head into the Newport Pavilion parking lot, which is a very, very popular shopping center. It's where the Kroger is up on the hill and the Target. And why this is bad news for investigators at this hour is because there are many ways in and out of that very popular shopping complex. You can get on 471 north or south very easy. If you head south, you can jump right onto 275. If you head north on 471, you can easily go into downtown Cincinnati or get onto 71, and from there, who knows. But again, this happened around 2:30. Here's the information we have on that vehicle. It's obviously dark in color. The chief of police in Newport tells us it's black in color. It's a 2006 Chrysler minivan with temporary tags on the back of the vehicle. All numbers, all digits to look for. 773-7742. One more time, 773-7742. We are going to stay on top of this. We are in the newsroom right now working this to bring you all the latest information. As soon as we do, we'll update you later on in this newscast. Tanya?
Okay, Jason, thanks so much. And we are following this with Chopper 9. There are reports that we have a sighting of the van. Dan Carroll, you're in the chopper. Tell us what's going on.
Well, Tanya, we just got a tip here in Chopper 9 that Cincinnati police may have, and I want to stress that right now, may have located the van that we saw involved in that carjacking. We're going to come around, but you have to see here in just a second a little bit of a better shot. But this is over the Rhine, about a block north of City Hall, and we're going to wait till we get to the other side. They've got that building in the way to see if this looks like the minivan that we've been talking about all afternoon long. A town and country minivan, black in color, according to Newport Police, and that the minivan you see in the picture certainly looks very much like the one we were talking about. Now, the camera we have on Chopper 9 is good, but I don't know that it's good enough. We can get in there and see if that's a temporary tag on the back of that minivan. But if you did notice in that video, it did have one of those bug screens on the very front end of the car, and it certainly looks like this minivan has that. So Cincinnati police may very well have located the van involved in that carjacking in Newport earlier today, and that's about all the information we have right now. So we'll keep an eye on this scene and see how this develops, and we'll get back to you with anything new here and over the Rhine. We'll go ahead and send it back to the studio unless you have any questions for me.
Dan, I was wondering, what street are you looking at there? Sort of what intersection is that in Over the Rhine?
This is the intersection of Green and Logan. It's in Over the Rhine. It's about a block to the north of Music Hall. The main street you see right there at the top left of your picture, that is Central Parkway. So that gives you an idea of what that is. And the other street that's crossing that is, well, I'm not exactly sure, but it's Green and Logan is the area that we're in right now. We're in Over the Rhine, where we believe police have located the van involved in that carjack.
That would be quite a find, Dan, because it is getting dark right now, and it's going to get
Liberty.
that much more
Liberty
difficult.
is the other cross street.
Oh, okay, Liberty.
Have you seen, have police been approached that van yet, Dan?
Well, you know, I'll tell you what, the picture you saw from us is right at, we have just arrived on the scene. So if we go ahead and pull wide and move the camera down a little bit, you can see there's a number of police officers standing outside of their cruisers, and they're just sort of standing there right now. So I don't know if they're communicating with someone who may be in that van. We could see when we pushed in on it that the door, the passenger door on the driver's side, appears to be open. So they may very well be speaking with someone in that van, but from our vantage point, what you can see right now, it doesn't look like they're approaching that van in any way or getting close to it. So they may very well be speaking with someone who's inside.
I mean, I realize that we are really guessing at this point, but this could be like a hostage situation in that they are trying to communicate with that person and not let anything bad happen in the process to anyone involved. And we want to mention...
Yeah, you're exactly right. And all we can do is report on what we're seeing. So we've seen the police officers standing in the street, not approaching that vehicle in any sort of way. You'll see them right here towards the bottom of your shot, Cincinnati police officers, and they've got their cars parked on the side of the street. So at the moment, it looks like they're just in a holding pattern and waiting for something to happen.
It looks like sort of a standoff at this point in time. By the way, we do have news crews heading to the scene where they can get a different angle, but this is an amazing angle. And Dan, does it look like something's happening there at the bottom of the screen?
Oh, we saw, here's another vehicle pulled up towards the top,
Yes.
Dan. Is that just, I see two police vehicles have just pulled up on the top end of your screen of what you're looking at home. Dan, I know you can see, oh, here we go. We have someone headed towards the van. Dan, go ahead and narrate this for us.
Yeah, that looks like that could be, I'm not exactly sure. That this might be a police vehicle right here because it doesn't have any Cincinnati police markings or a light bar on the top, but they've obviously pulled up next to it, and you know exactly what's happening. It's hard to say if they're talking with someone who may be in the vehicle. Now we've got a few more police officers from behind the vehicle moving up on the sidewalk, and they're obviously repositioning their vehicles.
And Dan, we are also showing this is a scene from the street. It looks like the police cars. Oh,
we have just gotten great word. The victim, the person who has been in that vehicle, Drago, is okay. We understand he's okay. That does lead us to believe that indeed this is the vehicle that was taken from Newport, Kentucky, northern Kentucky. We're getting new information in as we speak.
And the victim's name was Clifford Drago, 51 years old. He is believed to have mental disabilities. We are getting word that this is the carjacked vehicle and that this victim, Clifford Drago, the man with mental disabilities who was in the back seat of the car, is all right. We're getting scenes. For those of you who are just joining us, this is a scene from the street. We also have a look at the scene from Chopper 9 in the air.
Yeah, and I want to mention Tony Moronis is running that camera right now. He's one of our reporters, and he is looking at Mr. Drago, Clifford Drago, and he says he is okay. He says he looks to be just fine. At least physically, absolutely just fine. So that is excellent news. This unfolding for you live on television. We recognize Chopper 9 in the air, bringing you exclusive video of what is happening right now. And this, as we are right on the scene with police officers, this is in Over the Rhine. Obviously, this car was taken across the river from Kentucky. This all started about 2:30 this afternoon.
Right. Now, we do understand that this, just to give you a better idea of where this is in Over the Rhine, it is near Findlay Market. From what we understand, this is in Over the Rhine. It started at 2:30 this afternoon in Newport at the Remke Market there. And it is, what, 4 hours later?
Right.
And it appears that we have found the carjacker, we have found the car, we have found the victim who was carjacked, and he is okay.
We do not have word right now, and if you guys... This is at Logan and Central, by the way, Logan and Central in Over the Rhine. we don't have any word right now about the suspect, the person who took that vehicle, who carjacked it from the T-Mobile lot, which is across the street from the Remke, right in northern Kentucky in Newport. A lot of you are familiar with that area, plenty of shopping in that area. So we have not heard yet if police have this person in custody or if they are looking by foot, if they're still looking for this person at this point. We just know that they have clearly found this minivan, which had temporary tags, and that the man inside who has mental disabilities is okay. And that is excellent news.
It certainly is. And let's check back in with Dan Carroll, who is up there in Chopper 9. And Dan, it appears that police have surrounded the carjacked vehicle. What are you seeing up there?
Well, just to add to what you're talking about, we did see a couple of police vehicles leave the scene, so I would not be surprised if they've taken the victim in this case away. Now, as far as the suspect goes, we don't have any definitive word on the suspect just yet, but a lot of times when we pull up to scenes like this, we'll see police making an arrest, putting someone in the back of the police cruiser. We didn't see any of that when we got to this scene, but we did see just a few moments ago what appeared to me to be a police detective taking some photographs of the vehicle. So if the suspect is still in the vehicle, we don't know. If the suspect got away and they're looking for him, we haven't seen, as I look out the window, I don't see any other police activity happening in the neighborhood right now. So this is where it's all happening, and police have turned their lights off, and that sort of indicates to me that they feel like they have the situation well in hand, at least in this particular area where they have found the minivan.
Dan, did you see when they did you see the victim on the move? Did you see them taking him from the car?
No, we did not. We did not see that. But as we learned from Tony Moronis, who's on the ground, that he did see the victim of this. And as I mentioned earlier, we saw a couple of police cars, a couple of police vehicles leave the scene. And I would not be surprised if the victim, and whose name escapes me at the moment, was taken away by police from the scene to get him whatever attention he might need.
Mr. Drago, you're talking about there, Clifford Drago, who we do know from Tony Moronis, who is on the ground there. That's the camera shot you see on your right side. That's Tony's vantage point, and he saw Mr. Drago with his own two eyes and says he seems to be just fine. In case you're just joining us, in case you've just tuned in, we have had a scene unfold in front of us. At 2:30 this afternoon, someone carjacked a minivan that had 51-year-old Clifford Drago, who has mental disabilities, inside of it. He waved a gun, according to people who were on the scene, got in that vehicle, kicked out the driver, and then took off, even though people were trying to drag him out of it. He took off and somehow got on the highway, and police, as we are seeing right now, have just located that minivan. Chopper 9 giving you that exclusive vantage point on the left-hand side of your screen, and on your right we have a reporter and a photographer standing there looking directly at that minivan. We understand Mr. Drago is okay.
And we do, and it is such a great thing that this was that this man, Mr. Drago, was found before it got too dark, or just as it was getting dark. Dan?
Right. Yeah. Well, it was just getting dark when we got to the scene, and I just want to mention while you were talking earlier, we saw the police officer that was out here on the street walk into a building that is directly across the street from this scene. So if there's some activity happening in that building, we could actually see, move the camera up a little bit and I'll show you the building I'm talking about. We could actually see the police officer head up that set of stairs that you can see through that window. I'm not exactly sure what that building might be, but there was obviously something, some reason for that. Looks like a Boys and Girls Club right there. There was obviously a reason for that police officer to go into that building, and now we see someone else heading into that building. So this looks like an active situation to me, and they may very well be on the lookout for that suspect.
They don't seem, and I'm asking the question here, they don't seem to be very urgent, though, as they're looking. Does that seem like it is to you?
You're right about that. Yeah, you're right about that. And if, you know what, if there was a suspect on the loose, they may very well be bringing extra units to the scene, and I'm not seeing that happening either. Let's see, here they come out the door. And
Dan, you're right, that is the Boys and Girls Club there.
Club right there.
Yeah. Does it look, somebody's running there?
It doesn't seem as if anyone's in custody there.
People who were in the Boys and Girls Club just came out of there.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
but if there was something dangerous going on, I would think that there would be more police units on the scene. And I don't see any headed this way, and obviously don't see any in the picture right there.
It does seem like it's not terribly urgent right there, but that they have things in hand. Our Julie Dolan has been taking a look at social media and monitoring what's going on. What are you seeing there, Julie?
That's right, Carol. Actually, we have learned from police, as you guys mentioned, that they have confirmed that the 51-year-old has been found safe, and we know that Tony Moronis is there on the ground at this moment. He's been tweeting out what he knows, and we're getting our first pictures of 51-year-old Clifford Drago. You can see here he says Drago is safe on Green Street in Over the Rhine, and the first picture here is that 51-year-old man talking to a police officer. He appears to be okay, as police said, and there's a closer look at that victim. So glad to hear that, again, he's okay. We'll send it back to you guys.